So lately there's been a fair bit of excitable chat online about OnePlus's days potentially being well and truly numbered. If this was a gangster movie, then right about now Oppo would likely be invited OnePlus for a wee chat out in the desert. And just come along as well, there's a good chap, and don't worry yourself about that big old hole we've dug. Just gonna plant some shrubbery there, get the place looking all nice. The fact is, who knows whether we'll ever see another OnePlus flagship phone. But it does appear that at the very least we'll get one more OnePlus mid-ranger before the curtain drops, as the OnePlus Nord 6 has heavily leaked this past couple of weeks. So this week we'll be taking a gander at what could well be the final OnePlus smartphone, followed by a wee squint at Realme's latest phone with a battery so big it can go for longer than your mum. Plus of course the usual ritual humiliation that is viewer comments. Jingle me. Techspert Weekly! Now, I've got to say that while I still like it quite a bit, last year's OnePlus Nord 5 was a slight disappointment. After the kick-ass all-metal Nord 4, OnePlus sadly reverted back to a bland plastic and glass design for the Nord 5, which felt kind of like swapping an illicit liaison with Jason Momoa for a friendly feel-up with Chris Pratt. While the battery capacity also shrank a wee bit compared with the previous generation. The Nord 5 is still a fairly solid all-round mid-ranger, but here's hoping that the Nord 6 is a more serious evolution. Now, internet gossip reckons that the Nord 6 will probably be a rebranded OnePlus Turbo 6, a smartphone which launched China side at the start of the year. And Turbo 6 certainly sounds like a party in your pants, but the design doesn't exactly scream disco. Like the Nord 5, after all of that metal shenanigans, it's really about as thrilling as a wet paper bag, although hopefully it should at least prove rugged and fully water resistant like the Nord 5 before it. So don't expect much change on the outside, but what about the inside bits? Well, leaked benchmarks reckon that the OnePlus Nord 6 will be powered by the very same Snapdragon 8S Gen 4 chipset as that Turbo 6, thus further compounding those rumours. And this is a chipset that was also previously chucked inside of the Poco F7 and the Nothing Phone 3. So sounds like a solid enough choice, right? As after all, the Nothing Phone 3 is a flagship blower costing the best part of £1,000. But sadly, the chipset was actually one of the weakest bits of it, because under even a slight bit of pressure, the 8S Gen 4 tends to get hotter than Beelzebub's arse crack. Gotta say, my fingers did get slightly toasted at times by that bugger. The Nothing Phone 3, that is, not Satan's rectum. So here's hoping that OnePlus can keep this toasty wee get cool if it is indeed stuffed inside of the Nord 6. Otherwise, Wuthering Waves is likely to be another palm singeing experience. However, the undeniable highlight of the Turbo 6 is its ruddy massive 9000 mAh battery. One of the biggest stuffed into any blower out there, though not quite as big as one that I'll be showing you later on. Wink wink, nudge nudge. And chances are, of course, that this battery capacity will be scaled back somewhat for the OnePlus Nord 6 thanks to the usual regulation shindiggery nonsense. But hey, hopefully it'll at least match the OnePlus 15 with its 7300 mAh battery, which can keep you going all weekend as long as you don't go too mental. And the Nord 6 could very well please mobile gaming fans as long as it doesn't burn their pinkies right off, with its 6.78-inch 165Hz AMOLED display. That's a slight upgrade over the 144Hz panel of the Nord 5, not that my buggered old eyeballs will notice any difference at all. And rounding off the rumoured specs, you can also expect up to 512 gigs of storage and a fairly bog standard 50 meg rear camera. Now, while OnePlus typically launches its Nord phones around sort of summertime, the Nord 6 is tipped to release much sooner than that. Hopefully not another sign that they're just pushing shit out of the door before they go swanning off into the sunset. Although frankly, starting to see more red flags here than at old bloody Trafford. But anyway, that right there is what we think we know about the OnePlus Nord 6, possibly the last ever OnePlus smartphone to hit Blighty. But how are you feeling? Cautiously optimistic? Slightly melancholic? Inexplicably horny? Well, definitely please do let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And now, this. Uncle Spurt's we won. It's a short review, not his penis. So just this week, the Realme P4 Power landed here at Techspert Towers. A proper chunky boy that veritably waves its willy in the face of skinny wee twats like the iPhone Air. This plastic chassis is a pigeon's pube over 9mm thick. And the undeniable highlight of this 6.8-inch slab is a stupidly huge 10,000 mAh battery. Hence Realme's exceptional tagline, big power in your hands. Eyebrow raise. Now this thing can last for longer than the Duracell bunny after a blue pill salad. And it can handily be used as a 27-watt power pack to charge up your other tech junk on the move. And when, or should I say if, that battery actually runs dry, you've got 80-watt fast charging support to juice it back up. Now despite that whopping great sell, the Realme P4 Power isn't actually as hefty as you might imagine. In fact, it weighs just 219 grams, so it's got a good heft to it, but it doesn't weigh as much as some bloody flagships. The brains of the operation is MediaTek's Dimensity 7400 Ultra, recently seen stuffed inside of the Redmi Note 15 Pro 5G. But I found that gaming performance was better here on the Realme. Can certainly play meaty buggers like Wuthering Waves with a fairly stable frame rate, helped along by the 12 gigs of RAM. As for the rest of the specs, you've got a bright and poppy 144Hz AMOLED display, plus decently beefy stereo speakers. The 50meg main camera uses Sony's IMX882 sensor, and that's backed by a basic 8meg ultra-wide. Plus you've also got yourself a 16meg selfie shooter which can record footage at up to full HD. And a full Realme P4 Power review will be coming to Techspert as soon as I can be asked to film it. Uncle Spurt, we won. It's a short review, not his penis. Now, wasn't that lovely? And now it's time for the usual weekly round of Humiliate an Internet Baldy. It's viewer comments. Viewer comments.
What we got here is a little game of show and tell. You don't want to show me nothing, but you tell me everything.
So let's start this week with MoreHits22, who says, bring me the shenanigans. Oh, great band. DJ Warren says, you never fail to give my chuckle muscle a good workout. I'm a pensioner who is partial to a custard cream or two. I mean, it's a top tier biscuit, absolutely 100%, right up there with pink wafers, orange clubs, and I guess jammy Dodgers. Although I'm guessing with ridiculous inflation these days, even a pack of jammy Dodgers will probably absolutely empty your savings. Fancy a biscuit with your tea, or would you rather heat your entire house for a month? JB Burry says, do you have a proper job? I mean, do I look like the kind of individual that any reputable company would actually hire? No, I did all of that full-time work bollocks for about 15 years in the end before I basically said, F this noise. I'd rather just sit in my spare room drinking all day and pretending that I know stuff about tech. Calamity says, as a long-time viewer of yours, don't change the thumbnails. The style of thumbnail you've used has been iconic and immediately recognizable. The potential new thumbnails look like generic clickbait aimed towards children that are browsing through the Fortnite store. Yeah, my style for this channel in general really has always very much been half an arse. After all, why use the full arse when you can use just half of it? Although, of course, if I actually fully embraced that philosophy, then I realised I would just do exactly what all of the big YouTubers do and literally hire a bunch of fawning children to do all the work for me, write my videos, shoot my videos, and edit my videos, and I would just occasionally sit here and read their words off a teleprompter. So even my half-arsed approach is kind of half-arsed. And speaking of which, Etienne Sharp says, do these fellas not realise that half-arsed thumbnails and content, effort, jingles, etc. are the reasons we watch Techspert Weekly? Although hey, come on, those jingles, they are masterful. Last week's hot tech topic was of course the impending iPhone 17e, and a lot of the comments seem to have latched onto the one good thing about the iPhone 16e, which was the fact that it was quite compact. So for instance, Princes2648 says, I still miss the minis, ugh. Chicken Paulsen says, I want to see another 5.4-inch display. And Elise Thompson says, the other day I picked up an old Android phone that I had from 7 years ago, and it felt like an evolution over today's smartphones, lighter, thinner, and smaller. I've still got a few of the old back in the day classics myself as well, like remember this bad boy here, the Xperia XZ2 Compact. Deliciously dinky, even with bezels the size of Bournemouth. I tell you what, if it wasn't for the fact that I hadn't had any security updates in about half a decade, I'd be seriously tempted to slip my SIM in there, give it another go. I've also got some of my all-time favourites as well, including the Huawei P20 and P20 Pro. Look at the size of that bloody camera bump. It's more of a camera nubbin, if anything. Mika Costa says, I love my iPhone 16e. I don't need a 120Hz display. I don't need 12 cameras. It's compact and it gets good battery life, gets the job done. Now, fair play, I'm glad that you're liking it. I'm just saying that you could have, for instance, spent less money on a Pixel 9a. You still have a fantastic compact smartphone with excellent battery life and also a great display and brilliant cameras. Oh, and actual AI as well, and you'd still have 100 quid in your pocket. But hey, I'm just some bald on YouTube, what do I know? Dogtrain 1971 says 128 gigs of storage on a £1,000 Pixel phone is the biggest joke in the phone industry. I have the Xiaomi 15T Pro with 1 terabyte of storage for 600 quid. That's a proper cracking wee buy, that is. And I am really hoping that 128 gig smartphones become extinct in 2026. Certainly on anything that costs more than a couple hundred quid, because 128 gigs is just nothing these days. And that fills up faster than a portable pisser at a music festival. VMT16 says, per Counterpoint research, the 16E was the 10th best-selling phone of last year. Ugh. So regardless of how absolutely terrible it is, somehow people have found it to be worth their money. Just insane when even the iPhone 16 exists and it's basically better at everything. Yeah, just another example of what we were saying last week, which is just because something's popular doesn't mean it's actually any good. And also, I'm pretty bloody sure that if the iPhone 16e had been any other brand of Android smartphone, then it wouldn't have scored quite so highly from a lot of the media. Of course, absolutely nothing to do whatsoever with Apple's slightly tyrannical PR setup. And Steve Bacon says, I would rather have the non-existent Pablo Escobar phone over the 16e. Now, speaking of which, as well, that's just reminding me, whatever happened to the bloody Donald Trump phone? Trouser Trump or whatever it's called. After a token bit of Googling, it appears there's still bugger all sign of it ever actually properly been sent out to people. I don't know, maybe they couldn't find enough Galaxy S25s to paint gold. Erased by a Pencil says, where does he get his wallpapers from? Well, speaking of world-class jingles, wall.alphacoders.com, wall.alphacoders.com, that's where my wallpapers come from, wall.alphacoders.com. Oh, I Am Thunderhawk has got a bit of a brain teaser here. Mr. Spurt, in your opinion, which stock Android phone has the best battery life? If we're going completely stock Android, it'll probably be something like the Moto G06 Power, which I think had like a 7,000 milliamp hour battery and it was, you know, an incredibly energy efficient chipset and everything as well, because it is bargain basement. It costs like under 100 quid, that thing. It'll last you for absolutely days, that thing, especially as it can't really do much because it's cheap and slow. Ewan Marshall says, word from Colpay himself, uncle, no flagship Nothing phone this year. That is correct, he has confirmed that. No real surprises, as there was a 2-year gap between the Nothing Phone 2 and the Nothing Phone 3, so yeah, I wouldn't expect to see the Nothing Phone 4 until 2027. And it is good that he's not feeling the pressure to put out a fresh new flagship every year, although I do kind of wish that the Nothing Phone 4 would be coming a bit sooner, because the Nothing Phone 3 was a bit poo. But hey, Nothing Phone 4a series should hopefully be launching soon from all the leaks that are stacking up, so let's see what we do with that one. I still absolutely love the tits of the Nothing Phone 3a and the 3a Pro, so high hopes for the Nothing Phone 4a series. Let's see if we've still got a bit of Glyph Disco Arse lighting on the go. RGF 1998 says, you ever thought about how much money you would save if you drank less? Well, this is exactly why I drink, so I don't have to think about stuff. Oh yeah, last week our lovely viewer Polito pointed me at a rather unique alcoholic beverage called the Order of Yoni beer, which appeared to be fermented with a very special kind of yeast. Anyway, Very Scouse Mike says, so I googled the Order of Yoni beer and my gut is it won't be the essence of any of them women pictured, more like Putrid Pat's Minge from 3 Doors Down. Yeah, I didn't linger on the website long enough to peruse the small print, but I get the feeling your hunch is correct. Those photos were probably for illustrative purposes only. Oh, and just a friendly reminder for anyone who might be in work or in public, do not Google that stuff and go on the website. until you're safely locked in a toilet cubicle or something. Next up, Phil D says, "Whoa, you and MKBHD both mentioned funny juice in the same week. What a time to be alive." Are you even serious? I'm seriously right now considering Googling MKBHD funny juice. Oh, that's sad. AI results. Based on the search results, there is no direct connection between MKBHD and a product or phrase called funny juice. I do love the idea of a product called funny juice though. Hey, maybe that could be the Techspert version of Prime. Bursting with electrolytes. And Fluff Off and Die says, "If Comrade Spurtsky is masochistic enough to do viewer comments, then I suggest he try the old Soviet state beer, Shizhiguli. When I tried it back in 2008, I couldn't get down more than 3 swigs of a small bottle before spending the rest of the night on the toilet." You're really selling it, mate. Well, according to the website, it's a well-balanced golden beer with attractive aroma and refreshing taste. Having tried once, it's impossible to stop. Yeah, that'll be good old-fashioned Russian alcoholism. Anyway, a massive thank you to everyone who commented last week. Please do tappity-tap your comments down below and we'll get through as many of those as possible next week. And speaking of next week, what the f*** is next week? So next week, Sony is launching a product on Thursday by the looks of it, and I might potentially have a wee video for your viewing delight. I'm also hoping to crank up my full review of this mofo right here, the Redmi Note 15 Pro Plus 5G. Could it be one of the best mid-range blowers of 2026? Well, you'll have to come back to find out. And plenty more blather going up as well. And of course, join your Uncle Spur next Friday, same time, same place for more of this bollockry. Please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell if you haven't done so already, and have yourselves an absolutely smashing weekend. Cheers everybody, love you.